Okay, guys, doing the best of what I've got. Mike did not come in, but we're going to continue to do these stories. So we're doing an update on Andreen McDonald, and she's the girl that we're talking about right now that is missing. They're searching for her. They think perhaps she's dead. And so they have a lot of organizations and volunteers that are out searching for her body. So I'm going to go ahead and start you from the very beginning of the day when this all started. And so it started with Miss Jones, which is a friend and manager at the gym that Andreen goes to every morning. Now, Jones is a coach for a 100-member tribe fitness. And Andreen was at the gym at 5 a.m. every morning, and her manager said that she is a very hard worker. Had actually placed first in several weightlifting competitions and fitness competitions. And Jones says, she was top dog. We used her as an example on the floor very often. Now, Miss Jones describes Miss McDonald as a great mother and wife. She even brought her daughter to several of the tribal events at the gym. So, she was very interactive with her child. Now, the next day, Friday, rolled around, and there was no Andreen. She had not showed up to the gym or to work. And this was a major red flag for the friends, especially at the gym. So the concerned friends set out to find out if their friend was okay. But we have several stories that depict what happened. We have the affidavit that is being shared through the news media. But I'm going to share both sides of the story just in case. So one of them is Adrian's mom and friends arrived at her home, the 2-story upscale home in Timberland Park area in Texas. So that was around 1 p.m., according to some sources that I'm seeing. Now, some sources said that the mother had a key to her daughter's home, but another source says that they went around to the back of the house and found the back door was unlocked, and that Mr. McDonald, Andreen's husband, was not there at the time. Andrea McDonald, which is the husband, had just turned 40, was a major in the U.S. Air Force, and was stationed at Lake Land and worked as a cyber warfare specialist, which means you have to be pretty intelligent, to be in that line of work. He had actually just turned 40 a few weeks ago, according to his Facebook post. Now, according to a source, the affidavit says that there are 2 friends/witnesses, and the first witness is labeled as a close friend. Now, they supposedly make their way to the bedroom of the couple and into the master bathroom, where one of Adrian's friends discover a speck of blood and hair on a light switch. As they, went around the house, I guess they considered the fact that, she might have left the country or went on a trip. But because all of her personal things were left behind, it added to the idea of suspicious circumstances. And witness number 1, which claimed to be the close friend, says that Andreen's told her many times that if she ever went missing, that it would be because the suspect, Andrea McDonald, killed her, which is her husband. Then at some point, the witnesses and the mother, or the witnesses actually, because this is a changed version of the story, walked into the backyard and found a burn pit on the ground and found a zipper within the ashes, which really started to throw up the red flags. At that point, according to the affidavit, one of the other witnesses went to pick up Andreen's mother. Then upon their return, they seen Mr. McDonald leaving the home, then called police. Now, to me, the story is not making much sense, but it takes time for solid information to make land in an ocean of speculation. So if you guys know something more than I do, please share it below. Now, at this point, the police arrive and speak with her husband, Andre McDonald. But I'm not certain if they are speaking to him at the home at this point or at after he left the gun shop, which we're going to talk about in a second. I'll go ahead and talk about it now. But sometime in this time frame, he goes to the gun shop to purchase a handgun and quite a bit of ammo of what we are told at the moment, where he later leaves the gun shop in a hurry, leaves behind his ID, the handgun, and only has the ammo. Now that he's detained by police, I have to think maybe this is where they ask or talk to Mr. McDonald about his wife. I'm not certain where this fits in either. But at first, Andre tells the police that his wife is at the Baptist hospital being treated, but officers are not able to find out anything else about her. So they call the hospital to find out that she was not being treated at Baptist Hospital. So they confront her husband, Mr. McDonald, and he says that he doesn't know where his wife is and that they had gotten into a fight Thursday night. Doesn't that sound familiar? Now, according to some documents, it's at this point that Mr. McDonald refuses to speak and ask for an attorney. Back on the home front, the friends are continuing to search the home where Andre's 40th birthday decorations still remained from the very recent birthday party just a few weeks ago. Now, we had heard that the daughter, they were thinking about talking to the daughter and that she might have seen something. And we did find out some information that during the time that the friends are there, one of the friends record McDonald's daughter given a chilling clue as to her mother's disappearance. And this was later on Friday afternoon. The 6 or 7-year-old autistic daughter is mostly nonverbal, is what we're told, and may have been a witness in the crime. And the recording says, quote, "Daddy hurt Mommy, and Mommy was going like this," end quote. And she mimics her mother, what appears to be struggling breathing. It is said that the witness, Miss Jones, which is the gym manager, turned that recording in to the police. So we haven't heard that recording. We're not positive that's what that said, but that is what we're being told at the moment. This story can change, every day that goes by. Now, I did look at some, the sheriff's spokesman for the area, and I couldn't get much information from anything that he shared with us. He spoke a lot of Spanish, and so therefore I didn't get very much information, and communication is key. So I don't refer to him anymore. Now, as far as the search warrants, I want to make sure I have this clear. So the first search warrant was Friday, where they obtained the blood and hair. Now, there was a second search warrant, which was March 2nd, where investigators actually had found 2 torn up receipts indicating that Andre McDonald had bought a shovel, an axe, a hatchet, and a large heavy-duty box of plastic bags. Not only that did he had also gloves and 2 5-gallon cans on Saturday, the day after Andreen went missing. Now, they found a lot of those items in the back of the McDonald's Porsche, and they also discovered heavy coveralls in the trash cans, and records show that they found another fire pit that was not present during the previous search. And investigators, analyzed this fire pit and come up with he used it to destroy papers and other items that they're not sharing with us at the moment. So Andre McDonald was charged with tampering with evidence and arrested Sunday. And this is because Andre McDonald, was declining to cooperate about where his wife was. So investigators were basically forced to make, these searches and call on to, volunteers to help them out. And he has a $2 million bond, which we don't see him coming up with that much. We hope he doesn't anyways. So they had, even though the weather was extremely cold, they had many people show up, deputies and volunteers that fanned out from a mobile substation set up at the shops on where is this at? I wish I got the map for you. Let's see. So it's shops on Overlook and Overlook Parkway where they started looking for Andreen, hopefully alive. And what was really interesting to me is some of these volunteers actually found out about Miss McDonald's story through an app as well as the news. So, and this app is called Next Door if you want to check that out. Now, one of the volunteers, Miss Kennedy, said, I felt that for the sake of her daughter, we had to have a team from our community come out here and assist. And that's what she did. And we are very thankful for those type of people that come out and help their community. Another volunteer, Alexis Horton, says, we are all moms, most of us, and we can only imagine what her daughter is going through and what, her mom is feeling. And she says she also used an app to organize their group during the search. Andreen's father addressed the crowd saying, I really appreciate it, and I just want to say thank you very much. As volunteers, did everything they could to help out. They had to wear, really thick ski jackets, hiking boots, and some of them even carrying sticks as they, searched the grounds and the very extreme cold weather. Another volunteer was Weaver. Weaver said that she had last seen her friend, Miss McDonald, on Wednesday and that she was normal. Just another day at the gym, working out, pushing hard, sweating, just doing what she does every day. She admitted that she had never heard of any marital problems from her friend, but like other volunteers, Weaver sought to bring closure to Miss McDonald's family. Frank Trevino is a volunteer who has helped with other searches. Didn't know Miss McDonald, but said the work is important. And I want to say thank you to these guys that go out and volunteer in their communities like that, because you come together when people need you most, and that's what a community is about. Now, they're taking the McDonald's cars in to examine the GPS information on, and that takes some time to find out what they can off that. Now, the McDonald home, I know I mentioned it before, but I want to make sure I have it right. It is located in the Timberland Park area, which they bought in 2017. It is appraised by the county for $450,000. They also owned a second home on the city's north side, along with the 2 assisted living facilities that Miss Andreen run. But there is a bit of information that was found that was unknown, and that is that Andre McDonald had actually filed for divorce back in 2017 in February, but he withdrew that petition 3 months later. Now, there is speculation that the couple has had a violent history. But there's no proof of that at the moment. That there's a possibility that, that they had a violent relationship, between the two. And that's where the sheriff says, that's why I consider it an honor to be tracing through the creek beds in the cold weather, he said. We owe it to the memory of Miss McDonald, if in fact she is deceased, and to this little girl, and to bring some closure to this case. Now I'm going to share a little bit of information about Miss Andreen McDonald. She was, just 29 years old, but at age 22, she had already started that business with the assisted living. She was very active with like the hospice patients within her facility. She would go personally visit them. She was also very active on the outside communities and San Antonio, where she helped the homeless. And, she was just a very caring soul. She was very involved with everybody that was in her circle of life. Now, I want to speculate what I think might have happened, and I want to say that I think the husband was, intimidated by her. I think he didn't have all her time like he wanted, and she was just, it was something he just felt inferior, and maybe, this caused a lot of problems, and maybe she was more demanding of him or vice versa. What do you guys think? Post it in the comments below, and we'll be able to check our theories in the future. But in the meanwhile, it's a little too early for me to really talk about this right now because it's still so active and so new. And I really am rooting for her, and I want to see her come home alive. But it doesn't seem like the police think that is an option. But, like I said, we are human and we can be wrong. Sometimes we can be. And the smirk on his face when they arrested him, what was that about? I mean, I don't understand, where that come from, because it wasn't long ago that you see, if you look on their Facebook videos, they're just a very in love couple, it seems like. All right, guys, I want to go for now. I want to say thank you for watching so much. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.